Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanora Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the Panchadasi, 11th chapter, that consists of the Brahmanande Yoganandaha. So this 11th to 15th chapters, as we said, covers with the Ananda Prakarana. This is the last, the triad of the Panchadasi. So Panchadasi 15, the last 5 chapters deal with the Ananda aspect, and the middle 5 related to the Chitta aspect, and the first 5 on the Sat aspect. Now he is discussing the happiness that one gets in the deep sleep state. So we have 2 types of happiness. One is the happiness that involves the activities or object oriented happiness, or we assume that we are happy because of I am having this object, that object. Why I feel I am having this object, that object, I am happy because as I am, I feel I am limited. I don't have it, therefore I want it. If I have it already, then I am not going to go after it because I already have it. Since I feel I am limited space-wise, time-wise, object-wise, everyone feels limited because they identify themselves, I am equal to this, and therefore they go after solving the problem in trying to get happiness by objective happiness. But actually what happens when I go after the object, because I like this, because of previous vasanas that developed by enjoying with the sense of ego. I am this body and I want to enjoy that. That's why I don't come from the mother's womb with a cup of coffee. So a coffee is an acquired taste, but once I start enjoying, then I depend on for my happiness on cup of coffee in the morning. Without cup of coffee, it will be restless. My mind will be restless. So when the cup of coffee, hot cup of coffee, particularly Madras coffee comes, then my mind is calm and quiet and serene. And in those moments of calmness, the pure consciousness, which is Satchidananda, now Ananda aspect is also gets reflected. Until then, only the existence aspect, because I know I exist, and conscious aspect, because I am conscious of wanting coffee also. So conscious aspect as well as existence aspect are reflected, but not Ananda. For Ananda, the essential ingredient for Ananda, as this chapter shows, that the mind has to be serene, calm, unperturbed. How you get it is a different story. Most of us, we try to get that state by acquiring an object. So object oriented happiness. So I am happy because I have this. I am happy because I am that and that. But that happiness only stays temporarily because my mind wants now something else, because the object is limited, and the happiness that comes also will be limited only because another vasanas desire to possess more, because I feel still inherently limited. So therefore all these limitations of object oriented everybody is enjoying, and here in the last sloka it says Maharajaha sarvabhaumaha santupta sarvabhogataha manushyananda semanam prapya anandaika murti bhag. So Maharaj Sarvabhauma also gets tired of enjoying the life, because that one Manushya Ananda is different degrees of Ananda has been prescribed or described in the Taittiriya Upanishad. So one unit of Ananda, because they need a scale. When you want to measure the distance, you want either centimeters or inches, because that's a scale, and a fixed amount is 1 unit. So in terms of that you measure. So all measurements are provided with some basic units, either grams in weights or distances in the inches to all the way to kilometers and so on. And also ultimately long distances are measured by light year. Light year is the distance light travels in 1 year, and light travels very fast, because it takes only 8 minutes for the sunlight to start from sun and to land on the earth. 8 minutes only. Now you think of whole year traveling, not only 8 minutes, how much of distance that is. So that is 1 light year, and the nearest star is close to 4 light years. That means light that has traveled 4 years ago is reaching now. So when I am looking at the nearest star, I am not looking at the star right now, I am looking at the star which was there 4 years ago. Right now star I will be seeing after 4 years. And when I am looking at the galaxies and galaxies of billions of years ago, years away, what it means is the light that traveled billions of years ago is reaching me now. So therefore, the current state of that galaxy I won't know. I have to live for another billions of years to know what is the state of that galaxy when what is happening at that time. I will know. So I don't know how many people know. Right now you are seeing very far away the galaxies that are still forming. What it means is not that they are forming now. They formed billions of years ago, and that light is coming now for me to see. So I am only looking at the past, not the future. Then the present state, and those people who are living in those galaxies, because they already formed billions of years ago, those people will be looking at our galaxy and see that as though it is still forming now, because the light that is coming from this galaxy will be reaching there now. That has started almost like billions of years ago it started. That's the distance traveled by the light. But anyway, that's not the point. Point is that Ananda is also scaled. How much you are happy? How do you know how much happy? This is a Manushya Ananda. 1 unit is where one person, a Maharaja, or who owns the whole world, whole earth, not just one India or some China and other. We are talking about the whole world, who owns it. So he is essentially Maharaja Sarvabhaumaha. So his happiness, and since he has everything, there is nothing for him to gain in this world at least. So he is enjoying everything, and let's assume that he is young enough that he can enjoy also, because if you want to enjoy, you have a proper age also. So he is young enough to enjoy the whole world that he owns, and that is considered as 1 unit of happiness. And higher next level is the 100 times more of this 1 unit. So if you have 1 inch, it is 100 inches. So 1 unit of happiness, 100 times that of this Sarvabhauma's happiness is next level. Like that, every level is 100 times more than the previous one, and all the way up to the Brahmaji, and his happiness, we said, is 10 to the power of 26, because 26 are there. 10 to the power of 26 times that of 1 unit of this Maharaja, 1 unit of human happiness. So you can see how long. But even his happiness is object-oriented happiness. Therefore, he is also limited, because he is still saying the Triputi, object is different from subject is different from the experience of the object. So there is a experiencing. Triputi itself makes it the object-oriented finite. So even though Maharaja traveled the whole day, he is enjoying every different sense object in the world that he likes, enjoying the whole day, assuming. So he has for tongue to taste, he ate everything that he needs, and for hearing music and this and playing, all pleasures that he has. And afterwards, what happens? He gets tired of this happiness, tired of object-oriented happiness, and he wants to go to sleep. Why? He wants to experience objectless sleep, objectless awareness. So here he is not aware of, but he wants to have the awareness of that sleep and awareness of the happiness that one gets. So everybody is going, in spite of the longing for happiness outside world through objects, they want to go back to deep sleep state. So Manushyananda Simanam Prapya Anandaika Murti Bhaku. So even he wants. So here he gave a different example. Not only the people who are having problems want to go to deep sleep state to get happiness there, even people who are happy here also want to go there also. So here we are talking about not only unhappy people want to sleep, enjoy, because whether a beggar also wants to go to sleep, and over there he is enjoying the happiness. In the world he may not be having happy, there he is having a happy. So everybody wants to go there. So not only the unhappy people, happy people also going there. Here we are talking about even a jnani wants to go to sleep. It's an interesting here, 52. Mahavipro Brahma Vedi, Mahavipro Brahma Vedi, Krutakrutyatva Lakshanam, Vidyanandasya Paramam, Kashtam Prapya Vitishtate, together. Mahavipro Brahma Vedi, Krutakrutyatva Lakshanam, Vidyanandasya Paramam, Kashtam Prapya Vitishtate. So here Mahavipraha here, the one who is a knowledgeable person, because the knowledge here, before that we classified, there are three types of Ananda. One is the Vishayananda, object oriented, where I get this object, that object, that object. This is a common, everybody wants. And the second we said is the knowledge oriented happiness. People want to gain that. There is not object, but it is something of knowledge, but most of it is objective knowledge, because the knowledge we are talking about, I want this, I want to know this. You may be chemistry, physics, biology, any ology, like Narada. He has almost like 60 varieties of knowledge. He is an expert in that, PhD in every knowledge. So that happiness that one gets is what is called the Vidyanandaha. And this Mahavipraha is a Mahavipraha, means the one who is developed knowledge in many fields, and Brahmavedi, and one who knows Brahman. So Brahmavedi is here two types. One is Brahma stands for the Vedas. Brahmavedi, one who knows the Vedas, that could be the Purvakandi, or the one who is expert in the Vedic knowledge. Or Brahmavedi also means one who knows Brahman. So Brahman, the one who has the knowledge of Brahman. Whose knowledge of Brahman is Brahma Vetti. Same as Atma Vetti is what we said. That is, knowing Brahman is same as knowing Atma. Because knowing Atma is I am Brahman. So two equations are one only because both are same. So that Brahmaveda means one who has realized also Krutakrutyatva Lakshanam, the one who feel that they have accomplished something. Whatever need to be accomplished in their mind is accomplished. So from the point of the Mahavipraha, he feels that I have achieved so much of knowledge, and he is expert in every field, and he has accomplished in that, and we respect him because he is a great scholar, and in almost in every field that we can think of. and therefore he is respected for his scholarship. So Mahavipraha and Brahmavedi, one who knows the highest, that is Aham Brahmasmi, a self-realized person, is also respected, and they accomplish what need to be accomplished in life from their point. So obviously the one who has self-realized accomplished not only for this life, his life itself is, the purpose of the very life itself is fulfilled. So he accomplished. So there is nothing really he wants. But still they are active because the nature makes the body, mind and intellect, which is because of born out of Prakriti, they has to get up and perform the actions not only because of his prarabdha, but because of the prarabdha of other people who demand the presence of that Mahatma or that wise person for them to learn from them. So the self-realized person, a jnani, lives through not only because of previous, so his body, mind, intellect is generated because of his own prarabdha, not only his own prarabdha, samashti prarabdha also puts him there, because lot of people who want a knowledge from this, and they say you have to go to a knowledgeable person. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. Krishna says that with the desire to know, you go and approach a teacher with humility. So there has to be teacher. So and teacher has to teach when you approach. So he is ready to teach, and therefore his prarabdha is maintained by the samishti prarabdha. People who want to know, in fact, as keep the jnani alive also. So therefore he has also doing continuously teaching, and because the body, mind and intellect is functioning continuously, because they are finite equipments, and therefore they also get tired. So therefore the body, mind and intellect wants to go to sleep, where they do not have any more of these activities of Triputi. And when they folded, that's what the body mind gets rest. For a jnani, he is always happy, but he gets also the happiness of the absence of the duality also he enjoys. He enjoys Atmarati and Atmakrida. So therefore Vidyanandasya paramam kashtam prapya vitishtate. So paramam kashtam, the supreme, have reached a supreme limit. So having reached, so atitishtate, they establish in Brahman, still they want to go to deep sleep state, because what they want to reach, the body, mind, intellect has to be rested. The one who knows the objective knowledge, he wants to sleep because he knows only that much. One who knows even the Atma Vidya, one who knows self-realized, also wants to go to sleep. Why? Because the body, mind and intellect equipments are tired. Just like the car, you have to travel all over, and you have to take it, go to the garage, or take it to the parking place where they cool down and put whatever gas and other things are required in order to keep the car healthy. Same way, to keep the body, mind, intellect healthy, the body has to be fed and also has to take rest. That's exactly here. He says even not only the people who are suffering, yogis, even the healthy people want to go to sleep. Why? That ananda is different from the objective happiness. That's the whole point here. So using the same thing continuously, next sloka 53. Mugdha buddhati buddhanam Mugdha buddhati buddhanam Loke siddha sukatmatam Loke siddha sukatmatam Udahrutanam ajje Majje tu Dukkhino na sukatmakaham Dukkhino na sukatmakaham. Together, Mugdha buddhati buddhanam Loke siddha sukatmatam Udahrutanam manye tu dukkino na sukatmakaha mugdha buddha atibuddhaha. So Mugdha is essentially the ignorant person, and Buddha, the one who is a wise person, and Atibuddhanam. And over here, Atibuddha means one who has realized also. So a small child, ignorant child, or one who is ignorant, and one who is knowledgeable, like the Vipraha, who is Mahavipraha, great the wise man or the scholarly person, and Atibuddhanam, the one who has crossed everything, that means who knows the highest knowledge, even a realized person. So Mugdha Buddha Atibuddhanam, and Loke in this world, Sukatmataha. So being happy, Siddha is well known. They are happy as they are. So they have the Udahudanam, having example quoted, Anyetu, others indeed, Dukkinaha, those people who are measurable, Sukatmakahana, so who are not also happy, also want this sleep. So here he is summarizing that those people who are healthy, happy, as they are in the waking state, they also want to go to sleep because they get tired of the object-oriented happiness. But what about a Jnani? He doesn't depend upon the object-oriented happiness. A Jnani, even though he is dwelling himself in the totality understanding, and while doing with that, this body, mind and intellect gets tired of the objective pursuits in life. He may not depend on it, but pleasures are still coming, so he enjoys that also. Not that he doesn't enjoy, if you give him a cup of coffee, he enjoys cup of coffee. Then what's the difference between his cup of coffee and my cup of coffee? I also enjoy and he also enjoys. So what way a Jnani differs from me? So he enjoys coffee, he enjoys coffee. When you are enjoying coffee, you are enjoying thinking of something else also, because your mind is running all over. For him, he enjoys coffee. So he enjoys everything that comes, but more than that, he does not depend on coffee for his enjoyment. Coffee comes, is okay, and coffee doesn't come, he may make it also, and if somebody gives, he will take it. But if nobody is there, no coffee at all, he doesn't get agitated, he will keep his mind somewhere else, because he doesn't depend upon the happiness, that a longingness or wantingness is not there. If it comes, it's okay. If it doesn't come also, it's okay. So he lives as though like any other person, but he doesn't depend upon for his happiness or anything other than himself. That's why Atmani eva Atmana tushtaha. So for him also, he has to go to sleep. He likes to go to sleep. So everybody, both the rogis and arogis, all want sleep because that is the happiness. So the same thought in the next sloka, 54. Kumaradivadevayam Brahmanandaika tatparaha Sri Paripakvavat Veda na bahyam na bichantaram. So here we are summarizing. This is from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in the fourth, the Adhyaya and the third chapter, and the slok mantras are 21 and 21.1. So here Kumara Adi, so a small child Adi, from the small child on, Kumara Adivatu, so like a call, the small child, etc. Evam Ayam, this Jiva, this in the Jiva in the deep sleep state, Brahmanandaika Tatparaha, so engaged in the bliss of Brahman in the deep sleep state. Sri Paripakvavatu, like a man embracing his wife. Na Bhakhyancha, na Antarancha api. So neither he is conscious of outside world nor conscious of the inside world. So nancha api antaram na veda. So he is not conscious of that, just as the person who is embracing his wife forgets the rest of the world. So he is not worried about the problems, mental problems or the outside problems. So antaraha means here the concern about the problems, internal problems. That means that's not external, but because of the emotional attachments, all the problems are there, but all are put aside. And when he embraces his wife and he is enjoying that, in that there is no other than the enjoyment only. So become one with the object of enjoyment. And Kumaradi, so here all are similar to something. That means there is neither internal object or external object. What's internal object and what is external object? So when I see an external object, I see through my senses. So senses are involved for all external perceptions. So I see, I hear, I touch and all that. Those are the objects, and that is bringing information. But when I really see an object and I am only perception and volition takes place, that means an object is, a vritti is formed in the mind. So that's not complete process of knowledge, because it's only knowledge of the object, but recognition of the object, not the cognition. Cognition is over in the form of vritti, and I know what that is. Contents of the vrittis, contents of the object. So I have a knowledge of the object, but recognition comes from the memory, because there is a story of information about in the past, about what based on the attributes of the object that I am perceiving, and it goes back into the records and say, is there an information that with an object with this kind of attributes, and we have the knowledge of that before. So comparing that previous attributes and the current attributes and say, hey, this is a chair, this is a table, this is this, we identify or we recognize. Hey, I know him, I saw him before. That means I recognize him. So recognition takes place from the memory. In the memory, there is no sense input there. It is only memory coming in. Those are called internal perceptions, and the other one is called external perceptions. So the knowledge also, the physics, psychology, all those things, says I use the previous knowledge as a basis for me to go to the next level as process of learning new knowledge. And that's what is called internal perceptions. So neither the internal nor external perceptions, is beyond both, and he is one with it, where there is no more the triad or experience and experiencing triad is not there, while enjoying. Here interesting is that Sri Paripakvavatu, forget about the man-woman relationship. Here it's object-oriented happiness is also implied here, where there is no more antaram and there is no more the bahyam, and that means during the happiness, even in the Vishayananda, even the sense objects, one is reaching momentarily, everything else is off. That means mind is free from any object-oriented thoughts, and it's calm and serene, and therefore happiness is also getting reflected, and that's what is essentially implication here. We'll do 55. Bāhyam ratyādijam vrittam, Bāhyam ratyādijam vrittam, Gruhakrutyam yathantaram, Gruhakrutyam yathantaram, Tatha jagaranam bāhyam, Tatha jagaranam bāhyam, Nadista swapna antaraha, Nadista swapna antaraha. Together, Bāhyam ratyājanam vrittam, Gruhakrutyam yathantaram, Tatha jagaranam bāhyam, Nadistaha swapna antaraha. So here, Yatha Bāhyam, just as the external, and Rathajanam Vrittam, and things happening on the road, etc. Just as on the road means everywhere outside, whatsoever happening outside, that's called objective oriented, that is called external. Tata antaram. Similarly, the traffic is going on inside. Here he is using a rathajanam, like a roads. Traffic is going on in the outside problem, or also there is a traffic jam inside the brain also, because continuously we'll be thinking. We are walking, but continuously mind is thinking about something, about the future, about the past, about relationships and where the attachments are. So that is a continuous flow along the traffic there. So that's called antaraha. Antaraha is gruha kuchaha. That is actively related to the house. House include both the wife, children, employment, all these things also. Jakaranam in the waking state. Bhakyam is external for this nadi stoha. Within the nadi, within the swapna, antaram, the dream is internal. Here he is giving you what is external, what is internal. It is neither in the waking state nor in the dream state. In the dream state, there is only internal objects, because when I am projecting the forests and rivers and all that, that knowledge is coming from the memory only. I am not creating outside trees and putting in my dream. And the tigers and all that will also always in my dream constructing. I can even create certain things that are not there outside using the knowledge of the creation outside. So there is no rabbit with the horns outside. This is a classical example. But I can create in my dream, because I know what is a rabbit and what is horns, and all that can be done. So that's what is Bhakyam, what is Antaram is being defined here, and that is continuously that thought is there is neither this nor that in the happiness. So that's the idea here that being presented. With this we stop here. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.